And now I think we have Ms. Chyczij, who will speak for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable members, thank you very much for the invitation to appear before you today. As many of you know, since February of 2022, the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress has focused its efforts to respond to Russia's full-scale genocidal invasion of Ukraine. And we are very grateful to the Canadian people, to our government, and to all parliamentarians for their steadfast support of Ukraine. Since 2022, Canada has contributed over $25 billion in military, economic, and humanitarian support for Ukraine. And most importantly, Canada provided refuge to almost 300,000 displaced Ukrainians under the Canada-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel program, which I'm going to refer to as QIT because it's easier. So it's important to remember, and I know that you are all on this committee aware, that Ukrainians are not classified as refugees because they don't meet the UN Convention definition. They are not being persecuted by their own government. So as a result, they aren't eligible for many of the benefits that convention refugees receive. QIT visa holders received a work permit, 2 weeks of temporary accommodation, and a one-time subsidy of $3,000. So Canadians mobilized to fill the gaps. They provided housing, furniture, clothing, jobs, taught them English, and gave them moral and psychosocial support. This outpouring of support from Canadians who opened their hearts and their homes was amazing. We are eternally grateful. Today, we can say that virtually all QIT visa holders are employed. They fill important labor needs in the workforce, they contribute to the economy, and they pay taxes. Initially, the program was offered for 3 years. In 2022, none of us imagined that the war could continue longer than that. But 4 years later, the war continues, and every month, the prospect of a negotiated peace settlement becomes more and more remote. Donald Trump is emboldening Russia, and the windfall in oil revenues because of the suspension of sanctions, coupled with skyrocketing price of oil, are financing the Russian war machine. And the devastation in Ukraine becomes worse and worse. This past winter, one of the coldest on record, when temperatures plummeted to 20 and 30 degrees below zero, Russia systematically destroyed all of Ukraine's energy grid. Yesterday, Russia launched 1,000 Shahed drones across every major city in Ukraine. This was the largest drone attack since the beginning of the war. And it's only going to get worse because the war in the Middle East has depleted reserves of air defense missiles. So Russia's war continues, and Ukrainians have no home to go home to. We ask that the Government of Canada offer them predictability and stability because currently they face a bleak and uncertain future. Their temporary status leaves them in limbo. Surveys of QIT visa holders indicate that this lack of certainty and the ability to plan for a future are a major source of psychological stress. This is particularly so for those with young children. The Ukrainian-Canadian Congress has presented the Minister with policy recommendations that would alleviate these issues and assist Ukrainians displaced to Canada. Our recommendations are, firstly, that pursuant to the discretion granted to the Minister under Section 25 of the Act, the Minister approve a temporary public policy pathway for permanent residence for Ukrainians who are here in Canada on a QIT visa. We ask that the Minister increase the number of provincial nominee allocations across Canada. This will allow provincial governments to develop streams designed to meet their specific needs. And in doing so, the Government of Canada would align with the feelings of the Canadian people. According to polling we commissioned in October, 69% of Canadians support creating more pathways for a permanent residency for Ukrainians, and 81% of Canadians want displaced Ukrainians to stay for the longer term. We ask the committee to join the majority of Canadians in supporting our recommendations to the Minister. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Chyczij, and thanks